Before we start, I just want to thank you again for this opportunity.
There's no need to thank me, Miss Jones. We both know when someone goes to as much effort as you did to find me, I make it a point to find them.
Right. Anyway, I guess the first question in an interview is, what's your name?
Well, would you like the fake name, the very fake name, or the slightly less fake name?
So tell me about your job. What do you do?
I'm a freelance HR consultant. Companies hire me to research, interview, and hire new employees.
But not just any companies, and not just any employees.
Yes, I do a lot of work for the CIA. They have founded a more cost-effective solution for their HR department.
So how did you start working for the CIA?
Well, I was fresh out of college and doing a lot of temp work for the CIA, and they liked me, and I made a lot of connections there, so that helped me make the decision to start my own company.
Do you help hire covert operatives for the CIA?
I have in the past done some research and hiring for that position, yes.
My research would indicate that's your main gig.
Well, research can say whatever you'd like it to say if you play with the data enough.
Okay, well, when hiring operatives, what goes into finding people to hire?
I have access to databases that I've helped create of people flagged to be of particular interest. People who have clearly been researching the job. People that show promise in the military, people that show promise in the many educational institutions that we have contacts in, and things like that.
What does show promise mean?
Well, they show interest in the career of an operative. They show promise in the skills of language, political science, and acting.
Okay, once they're flagged, how do you decide who should be interviewed?
I select the ones that have good profiles and I go observe them.
Without their knowledge. Well, when you interview them, how do you decide if they should move on to the next stage?
Everyone has their own way of doing it, their own cocktail of intuition and logic about finding the right person for the job. I have the questions that I am required to ask and the questions that I have come up with over the years to find out if they're a right fit.
Have you ever been an operative yourself?
I went through my own interview with someone who did this job long before me, who I am now good friends with, and then I trained to be an operative. Funny thing is, she knew right away that I was never meant to be an operative, and I can see now why I wouldn't be a very good one.
Why not?
I'm good at seeing who someone really is and what their talents are, but that's not what an operative needs to see. They need to understand the ins and outs of someone's brain, the entire room, sometimes the entire building. They need to understand within seconds where loyalties and manipulations truly lie.
I think I understand now. So, what happens to the people you decide should be operatives?
They're offered a contract, and if they sign it, then they will have a couple months to get their affairs in order because essentially they'll have to drop off the face of the earth and go to the first stage of training called the farm. After the first 6 months, they have the choice to nullify the contract. If they decide not to, then they'll finish out the remainder of the year at the farm. If they pass training at the farm, then they'll serve another year under a mentor. But they'll have some contact with family. But under all circumstances, they will have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, of course.
Wow, that sounds like an intense process.
It is. That's why people must go through intense screening so that we don't end up with the wrong type of people.
Do you get to travel a lot?
Yes, I go all over the country, and sometimes I go abroad to observe and interview candidates that end up on my list.
But you have to have a fake name and maintain secrecy just like an operative?
I know a lot of names and locations that can put a lot of people at risk. Basically, I know more about the overall covert operations of the CIA than the individual operatives do, so I have to maintain more secrecy. I have a fake name, and my old life had to die. I had to cut off all contact with my old life before this job.
Oh.
Is that surprising to you?
Kind of.
Life is strange sometimes, isn't it?
Definitely.
You don't suppose I can ask you a question, do you?
I guess that's only fair.
What do you want out of this? Why did you go to all this trouble?
I want to be an operative. I thought if I could find you, then it would prove that I can do the job. I thought I wanted to be an operative anyway, but...
But?
You knew! You knew this whole time, but how? You knew I was tracking you. Is this the whole reason why you agreed to this?
Well, don't be too disappointed in yourself, dear. You did do a rather good job for an amateur. I'd be frightened to see what you could do with a little training.
I wanted to be an operative. It was my dream.
Well, what's changed?
You made me realize that what I really want to do, what I'd be really good at, is this. what you do,
Well, it can be hard to know. They are similar jobs.
but very different.
Indeed. I can still recommend you for the farm. You have all the skills to do quite well there.
Or,
You can do the operative training and decide which track you want to go down from there.
and what if this is the track that I want?
I'll be in touch with you shortly before graduation, and if you decide you still want to be an interviewer, I will speak with my contacts and have them make me your mentor.
Okay, yeah, I think that sounds good.
Well, in a normal interview, I'd have you sign contracts right now. But unfortunately for you, you're going to have to go through a real interview with my mentor since this one was not the most official. But I will have you sign a non-disclosure agreement and offer you my congratulations because I have no doubt you'll make it through to the farm.
Thanks.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.